Hello, and welcome back to the channel, or welcome here if you're new. But today I just taught the first lesson in Rich Goddess. Oh my god, it was amazing. So excited for the ladies who attended live. I just wanted to make a quick announcement that I am keeping the cart open until next week's lesson. So if you still want to get in, go to the link below and I will see you there. But as that, is noted, Rich Goddess, we're talking all about money manifestation and unblocking ourselves to receive new next level, income levels in our business and in our lives. It doesn't just have to be through your business, but in general, how do we receive more? How do we expand ourselves to actually be able to hold more of anything, really? But we're talking about money specifically today. So, first of all, if you're blocking money, actually, this came to me the other day and then I kept seeing it as a confirmation after I had the download. So I knew I had to get on here and talk about it. But if you don't have the money, or if you try to convince yourself that you don't want money, or it's not meant for you, or you are somehow a victim to where you don't get to have it, you probably don't trust yourself. It's actually a huge red flag, a huge sign of you not trusting yourself. And so this can manifest in so many different areas: relationships, money, lifestyle, just literally doing what you say you're gonna do. All of these are signs of, do you trust yourself or not? And when we don't trust ourselves, of course, we aren't going to be able to allow ourselves to hold more or to receive more, because that seems like a bigger responsibility whenever you have bigger and greater access to power, right? Of course, money is an energy. It is an exchange of energy, but it is also access to unlimited amount of choices, right? That you didn't have before. You have access to living a different lifestyle now. You have access to delegating this money to other people to make your life easier happen for you. You have the new responsibility of actually investing yourself in ways that are next level and attuned to that next level identity whenever you have large amounts of money, right? So it's really this responsibility to, who is the identity that is a version of me that already has that, and how does she treat money? And that right there is power. Knowing that you can step into that identity and see a whole new money paradigm for yourself is a version of power. Is power itself. So a lot of us shy away from our own power, don't even want to admit that we have it. And that's why a lot of us end up self-sabotaging, reverting back to victim mode that we have been in, reverting back to, I'm not good enough, I don't get to have this, this happened in my past, so I don't get to get it. I went through this situation, so obviously I'm going to have a much harder time getting it than someone else. All of that is just bullshit and excuses and a way to appease your disempowered self. I made a video a while back on loop of disempowerment, which is a term that I made up to just really show the loop that you can get in. I think it can be called the negative feedback loop, where when you're looking in your business or in your life and you're like, I want to charge higher prices, but no one's going to buy it. And then you just decide to charge a higher price, but then you keep looking in your Stripe account for the payment. Did anyone buy it? Did anyone buy it? Did anyone buy it? Oh, of course no one's buying it, because no one's going to, buy this thing at a higher price, buy my service at a higher price. I can't value myself that much. See, I told you, no one's buying it. And then you lower your prices again, and still no one buys it. You're putting yourself in this loop of, I'm actually disempowered. I have no control over my reality. I have no right to value myself higher. That's out of my control. And so therefore I'm a victim to my circumstances, to my surroundings, to my perception of reality. And that can be really big whenever you don't trust yourself with money. This is how this can show up in a financial narrative. So, you don't trust, how do you not trust yourself with money, right? It's not just about spending it. It's about, you don't trust yourself to grow it. You may not trust yourself for it to accumulate in your bank account. Maybe you just see it disappear all the time. You don't trust yourself to be able to make a certain amount again. So you never invest in yourself more, or you never buy yourself that thing that you want, or you never even celebrate yourself for, having a 10K month in your business or something like that, because you don't trust that you can do it again, even though you did it once. You don't trust yourself to elevate your lifestyle even after a few months of saying, hey, I'm capable of making this amount in my business and I can safely invest in more for myself, but I'm still not going to because I don't trust myself to hold it. So that can be a big, big reason why you're blocking money, and it's self-trust, which is really directly correlated to how much you value yourself, but also integrity. Like self-integrity is huge. Genuinely, it's my belief that you will not become successful if you're not an integral person. If you don't do what you say you're going to do, you're never going to show up. Like, I don't care if this is with money. I don't care if this is with dating for marriage, like dating provider men. I don't care what area this is in. If you aren't integral to your own boundaries, to doing what you say you're going to do, you're going to flail and stay in this old identity and never be able to level up because you aren't going to trust yourself in general. So that's why I put this as number one with the whole money paradigm, because this is really one of the biggest things. So secondly, you don't actually, and I am going to say at the end, a way to start fixing these things for yourself, but I want to go over the actual blocks first. So you actually don't, number two, you don't actually have a container to be able to hold more. So when we hear the word container in inner work, spirituality, circles, stuff like that, people are like, what the hell is a container? But what it really is you have a certain capacity to hold, like, think of this as a very metaphorical example, right? So this bottle has 32 ounces. And so this, I'm able to put a little bit more at the top, but for the most part, I can only fill this up with 32 ounces of water. That's its capacity. Any more than that, and the water bottle would freak out and leak water everywhere. Same goes for money. Same goes for being able to hold anything in your nervous system. This all has to do with your nervous system. Your nervous system is currently able to feel safe in and be able to hold a certain reality for yourself. So that includes certain level of treatment from men in your relationships, certain level of income from your job, your business, or however you get your money. This also goes for, a certain level of like food that you're able to eat, a certain level of exercise that you're able to do. All of that, there's a container for this. And so basically think of it as limits, and you can expand your limits. But right now, what your nervous system feels safe with and has the energy to actually hold and nourish and continue to produce, or let's say create the same reality for yourself, at least, requires a certain amount of energy. And there are limiters on that at the moment. So it's actually regulated to receiving a certain amount of money. Maybe you come from a corporate situation where you earned $5,000 a month, and that's super normal for you. Of course you can make that. Of course you can receive that. And what's interesting is that when a lot of people start their businesses and they start actually making sales and seeing, money flow in, what they'll see is sort of a cap at what they used to receive at a corporate salary or something close to there. And then they have a hard time breaking past that. That's something that I've seen in the past with some of my clients. And so since you're so accustomed to receiving this, like I said, certain level of treatment with men, certain level of monthly income in your business, your nervous system will actually freak out and feel unsafe whenever you do something beyond that. It's like, whoa, this is a little bit too risky. What the F is going on? Like, all the limiting beliefs come up. Your identity starts to, that's where you may struggle and falter in it. To actually stay in that leveled up identity or go to the next one is because your nervous system is taking time to regulate. That's why exercises such as visualization, visualizing certain amounts of money in your bank account, or visualizing what I would see personally would be certain Stripe and PayPal notifications coming in to my email, because that's what I saw whenever I would make sales. And so I would every night visualize this and visualize more coming in. Like maybe 5 came in that day whenever I was only used to seeing once a week or something like that, right? So that trained my brain and retrained my brain that if I saw that, I would feel safe. Whenever I first started to visualize it, it would be more of like, oh my goodness, like I would totally freak out if this happened. Like, yeah, in a good way, in an excited way. But that to me shows that I'm not actually regulated to that being a normal for me yet. So it would be too exciting, like too, my heartbeat would go up too much, like cortisol, adrenaline would pump. I wouldn't be able to go to sleep thinking about it. So I had to do that every morning, every night. I had to create a whole new identity for me who already had that. So it would really be not jarring to her. It wouldn't be a big deal if she received that. So when I show up in my alter ego now, my nervous system in that is already regulated. Now, that's a little bit more advanced version of manifesting through a whole new self-concept and alter ego, but I just wanted to give you the progression there. So, third would be generational wounds and cycles that you've actually seen from your family, or from maybe you haven't even seen it in your family. Maybe it's just something that happened a long time ago and you actually didn't know that it happened, but it's just in your lineage. Like it's literally in your DNA, where it was a survival mechanism, and that's just how your family thinks about money. Maybe something really big happened. Maybe your great-great-grandpa lost like $1 million. And so now that scarcity of like not being able to gain that back after the loss continues into the literal behavioral traditions that were passed down through your family. And so this is actually a really big one, because it can be so subconscious that you don't even realize, like these are what you believe are the truths about money and the energetic exchange of money. And you don't even realize it because it's so subconscious. So it's such a survival mechanism that it's basically what you're going to revert to in a situation where you get stressed about money. Maybe it's a situation where a lot comes in at once and you freak out. Or maybe it's a situation where you keep seeing bills pile up, or, a lot of charges come in and maybe you spend more than is at your container capacity and you also freak out there. That's when you'll actually see the wounds and the cycles and like what you revert to in that survival mode come out. And that's when you'll see those beliefs show up. So the thing about this is that no matter how much you like try to manifest more money, or no matter how hard you work in your business, say you show up and work like 14 hours a day, if you have these like preconceptions about money and these beliefs that this is how it's going to work anyways, no matter how much work I put in, no matter like how much inner work I do, if you aren't doing it on this, it can really fuck you over, because it can hinder your progress so much if you're not realizing how subconscious this is. So how do we fix all of this? Obviously, each of these have a little bit different of a fix. And if you get into Rich Goddess before we close the cart next week, we will dive into this so deep. Like the first lesson was already insane and the recording's already in there. So definitely get in before the cart closes. But honestly, what it really is a mixture of action and the knowledge, and also actually doing the work and feminine energetics of the manifesting. So, for example, if you're not showing up at all in your business, you have to do the actions to do that. But for the most part, with anyone that I work with or with people who I'm typically interacting with, this is not usually the issue of someone literally not showing up. Like that's kind of like base level. You need to show the F up, right? The next level to that, like if you're showing up and you're still not seeing it, or you feel blocked from it, What it really is the inner work on everything that I just talked about. So not trusting yourself, your beliefs about money, actually not having a container that's expanded to hold the amount that you desire. Like that would kind of, it would kind of suck to get like $100,000, or like the people who win the lottery, right? And then you just ruin your life because you don't know how to handle it. So it's probably not a good idea for that to happen anyways yet. Like you want to do the inner work on it so that when you receive it, you can multiply it, you can invest it, you can feel safe with it, right? Another thing is just money beliefs in general, like the assumptions that you have, and then understanding that everything is a mirror, like money, relationships, your business, all of that is a mirror. And so whatever is triggering you or however it's showing up, like if you're seeing just 1K day, 2K day, 1K day coming into your bank account very easily, well, that's a mirror of all the inner work that you've done, the state that you're in, the identity that you're in, and the assumptions that you have about what you get to receive. But if you're just seeing like money going out of your bank account, the energy leaking out, because money is energy, and you see all these blocks, right? Well, that relates to also your state of being, your identity, and the assumptions that you have around money, whether that be positive or negative, or let's say helpful or, non-helpful in this situation to whatever your desire is. So this is really important. But doing the actual internal work on it and being able to get into the inner just state of being of, yeah, I'm the bitch that gets to have whatever she wants. I'm not like, I am going to step into the identity of the version of me that already has this. And we're going to do the hard work, which is actually doing the inner work and working through all these things, because the only way that I don't get to have what I desire is if I give up or stop trying. That's the same thing. But if you give up or stop trying, that's the only way that you don't get to have what you want. Like it really is. If you don't take no as an answer and you raise your standards for what you get to have and raise your standards for like, I don't accept less than this, then guess what? That's how your world starts showing up. Even if it takes a little bit of time for the physical reality to catch back up to your new identity, that's so much better than just giving up and being like, yeah, this shit doesn't work for me. And then being in the same place a year later, 10 years later, and never having changed, right? So don't stop trying. Literally don't take no as an answer. And be the version of yourself that gets to have all of this, that gets to experience this. It gets to invest in herself at new levels. It gets to experience a whole different lifestyle than what she grew up with or what she has now. Once again, we are still enrolling into Rich Goddess up until December 11th, I believe, whatever that Tuesday is. So I'm so excited. First lesson was incredible. We go all into money beliefs, generational money wounds, gosh, so much more. But those are the main things, and the recording is already up with all the inner work in there. So join now, get a head start, and if you're already in the Babe bundle or you're already in the recorded version, you can upgrade into the live version. Just email me and I'll send you the link, or check your email because I've already sent it out. All right, well, I will see you next time, and have an amazing rest of your day.